For survivors of trauma, a sense of safety in your church or ministry comes from several different directions. First, there's the trust that their experience of trauma will be understood and responded to with compassion, patience, and care. We covered that in part 1. But safety also comes from knowing that ministry spaces are secure, that leaders are prepared to respond in difficult situations, and that leadership is consistent, clear, and trustworthy. In this video, we'll look at 4 more steps toward becoming a trauma-informed ministry, one where people can experience hope, healing, and community in Jesus. Step number 4 is to review facilities, policies, and procedures. Up to this point, we focused on people, how we understand trauma, and how we respond with compassion and care. But safety is not shaped by people alone, it's also shaped by environments and systems. For many survivors, what a space feels like and how ministry functions can either reinforce safety or quietly undermine it. Sometimes the environment itself creates barriers. Walk through your building and ministry as if you were a first-time guest or a parent, a survivor of abuse, a child, someone with extreme anxiety. Would you know where to go? Would you feel safe? Would you know how to get help? Then review your policies. Child safety policy, reporting procedures, volunteer screening, transportation, counseling, and crisis response. The question is not just, do we have a policy, but do people understand it, follow it, and know what to do in a real situation? Because unclear systems create uncertainty, and uncertainty often feels like a lack of safety. When your environments are intentional and your systems are clear, you remove unnecessary barriers and help people engage with greater confidence and trust. And that kind of clarity becomes the foundation for how you respond when something more serious happens. Which leads us to step 5. Step number 5, develop response protocols and train frontline leaders. Churches and ministries are often the first place people turn in a crisis, but too often leaders feel unprepared, trying to respond in the moment without clear guidance. You cannot prepare for every particular situation, but you can prepare for the most likely and most serious ones. Every ministry should be developing response protocols and training frontline leaders for situations such as abuse disclosures, domestic violence, suicidal comments, self-harming behaviors, or momentary trauma responses like panic attacks, emotional outbursts, or someone shutting down or becoming overwhelmed. Start by asking, what situations are we likely to face or have profound implications? And ask, what will we do when they happen? You don't need a plan for everything at once. Prioritize based on both frequency and seriousness. Then, identify who's most likely to encounter these situations and give them simple guidance on what to notice, what to say and do, what not to say, how to stay calm and regulated, when to involve someone else, and when to report or refer outside the organization. It's also wise to build a referral list and gather resources before a crisis happens, rather than trying to find them in the moment. When people know how to respond ahead of time, your ministry becomes safer, wiser, and a more supportive environment. Without that preparation, even well-meaning responses can unintentionally cause harm. Now, in these first 5 steps, we've covered a lot of ground. The final 2 steps are not just actions, they're ongoing commitments that shape the culture of your ministry. Number 6, commit to integrity, authenticity, and transparency. People who've experienced trauma are often especially sensitive to inconsistency, secrecy, defensiveness, and leaders saying one thing but doing another. Trust is built when ministries admit mistakes, respond to concerns, follow through on commitments, communicate honestly, and address problems directly. People do not expect ministries to be perfect, but they do expect them to be honest, responsible, and trustworthy. Commit to integrity and transparency in your leadership, even when it's uncomfortable or costly. Step 7, commit to ongoing instruction and growth. Trauma-informed ministry is not a one-time training. Organizations drift. Volunteers change. New challenges emerge, and people forget. That means you need ongoing training, periodic policy reviews, intentional onboarding for new leaders, and regular conversations about growth. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistent progress over time. Now, don't hear this as 7 more things your church has to do. Think of these as 7 areas of ministry health, areas that help your church become safer, wiser, and more effective. You don't have to do everything at once, but start somewhere. Pick one ministry area, one policy, one team, one next step. Because trauma-informed ministry is built through many small choices made consistently over time. If you want help taking the next step, we've put together resources to guide you. You can start with the Trauma Basics playlist or explore our full course, Basic Training in Trauma-Informed Ministry. I'll include the links below. Thanks for watching.